ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टम् स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहरिमारघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी नमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरोर्भ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमोस्तुते नमोस्तुते विशाल बुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायत पत्रनेत्रे येन त्वया भारत तैलपूर्णः प्रज्वलितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्ना परिजाताय स्तोत्रवित्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। हरे कृष्णा। We are studying chapter 8. So yesterday we discussed till verse number 19, where Lord Krishna talks about the nature of this material world. He is doing a comparison between material world and spiritual world. In Bhagavad-Gita, everything is presented only in gist form. There is no much depth to the concepts that Krishna explains. But we get those things explained in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, the spiritual world is explained more in Canto 3, Chapter 15. Very much detailed explanation is given there. Brahmaji himself talks about Vaikuntha, you know. So Bhagavad Gita only gives an idea, like a seed, just in very concise form. So after speaking about material world, which is a place temporary, perishable, full of miseries, and regardless of however exalted position you may acquire in material terms, you are still at a loss, basically, because there's no benefit to you considering it from um, a transcendental perspective, isn't it? Like if someone happens to become Brahma, even that is not a big gain. What is the big deal about it? Even if one happens to be Brahma, because that same Brahma may eventually end up becoming an ant. So what was the gain then? No gain. Hmm? So this is the problem with material world and material life. But in spiritual world, there's a different reality there that is explained here. Verse number 20. Parastasmat bhavanyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yah sa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. Okay. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So in material world, there are two states of existence. What are those two states? Manifested and unmanifested. We yesterday discussed manifested means perceived, and unmanifested means it is out of our perception, cannot perceive it. To give a very simple example, when you look towards the ceiling of the room in which you are now, so the sky is not manifested to you because you can't see the sky. But when you walk out of the house and then look at the sky, then the sky becomes manifest, right? Similarly, there is there is a space which is unmanifest to us, and we call that as antariksha. We can't really see what is there out there in antariksha, the space there. It is unmanifest to us. Subtle matter is unmanifest to us. We know that this Brahman has a covering, but who can see that covering? We cannot see that covering. Huh? So that is unmanifested matter, manifested matter and manifested matter. Here he is saying, Krishna is saying that there is beyond this state of manifestation and unmanifestation, another unmanifest nature, which is spiritual. In Sanskrit, it is called aprakrita. Aprakrita. Aprakrita means which is not material, which is eternal, transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. Okay, perfect. Krishna's superior spiritual energy is transcendental and eternal. This beyond all the changes of material nature, which is manifest and annihilated during the days and nights of Brahma. Krishna's superior energy is completely opposite in quality to material nature. Superior and inferior nature are explained in the seventh chapter. Text 21. अव्यक्तो अक्षर इत्युक्तस् तम आहु परमां गतिम यम प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम paramam mama. That which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which having attained it one never returns, that is my supreme goal. Krishna is speaking very abstractly about that place in Bhagavad Gita. Not much detail is there, like, isn't it? So in the purport, Prabhupada will add some details. Um, let's read the purport. Rutvija Mataji, please read.
The supreme abode of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, is described in the Brahma Samhita as Chintamani Dhama, a place where all desires are fulfilled. The supreme abode of Lord Krishna, known as Goloka Vrindavana, is full of palaces made of touchstone. There are also trees called desire trees that supply any type of eatable upon demand, and there are cows known as Surabhi cows which supply a limitless supply of milk. In this abode, the Lord is served by hundreds of thousands of goddess of fortune, Lakshmis, and he is called Govinda, the primal Lord and the cause of all causes. The Lord is accustomed to blow his flute, Venum Vanantam. His transcendental form is the most attractive in all the worlds. His eyes are like lotus petals, and the color of his body is like the color of clouds. He is so attractive that his beauty excels that of thousands of cupids. He wears saffron cloth, a garland around his neck, and a peacock feather in his hair. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna gives only a small hint of his personal abode, Goloka Vrindavana, which is the supermost planet in the spiritual kingdom. A vivid description is given in the Brahma Samhita. Vedic literatures Kada Upanishad 1.3.11 state that there is nothing superior to the abode of Supreme Godhead, and that abode is the ultimate destination. Purushanna param kinchit sakashta paramagatihi. When one attains to it, he never returns to the material world. Krishna's supreme abode and Krishna himself are non different, being of the same quality. On this earth, Vrindavana, 90 miles southeast of Delhi, is a replica of the supreme Goloka Vrindavana located. Gee, little located in the spiritual sky. When Krishna descended on this earth, he spotted on that particular tract of land known as Vrindavana, comprising about 168 square miles in the district of Madura, India. Thank you.
So some descriptions are here from Brahma Samhita about the Lord's kingdom. Okay. Next verse. Purushah sa parah partha bhaktya labhya svananyaya yasyantasthani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. Everything is situated within him. Yes, Abhay Prabhuji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. It is here clearly stated that the supreme destination from which there is no return is the abode of Krishna, the Supreme Personality. The Brahm Samhita describes this supreme abode as Anand Chinmay Rasa, a place where everything is full of spiritual bliss. All the variegatedness manifests there is of the quality of spiritual bliss. Nothing there is material. That variegatedness is expanded as the spiritual expansion of the Supreme Godhead Himself. For the manifestation, there is totally of the spiritual energy as explained in chapter 7. As far as this material world is concerned, although the Lord is always in his supreme abode, he is nonetheless all pervading by his material energy. So, by his spiritual and material energy, he is present everywhere, both in the material and in the spiritual universes. Yasyantha means that everything is sustained within him, within either his spiritual or material energy. The Lord is all pervading by these two energies. To enter Krishna's supreme abode or the innumerable Vaikunt planet is possible only by bhakti, devotional service, as is clearly indicated here by the word bhaktya. No other process can help one attain that supreme abode. The Vedas, Gopala Tapani Upanishad 1.21 also describe the supreme abode, the supreme personality of Godhead. Ekovasi Sarvagah Krishna is that Ekovasi Sarvagah Krishna. In that abode, there is only one Supreme Personality of Godhead whose name is Krishna. He is the Supreme Merciful Deity, and although situated there as one, he has expanded himself into millions and millions of plenary expansions. The Vedas compare the Lord to a tree standing still yet bearing many varieties of fruits, flowers, and changing leaves. The plenary expansions of the Lord who preside over the Vaikunth planets are four armed and they are known by a variety of names: Purushottama, Trivikarma, Kesava, Madhav, Aniruddha, Rishikesa, Sankarsana, Pradyuma, Sridhara, Vasudeva, Damodara, Janardhan, Narayana, Vamana, Padam, Padmanabha. The Brahm Samhita 5.37 also confirms that although the Lord is always in the supreme abode, Golok Vrindavan, he is all pervading, so that everything is going on nicely. Goloka eva nivasati akhila bhuta. As stated in the Vedas, Svetasvatra Upanishad 6.8, Varasa Saktir Vividhaiva Suruyetal Subhaviki Jnana Bala Kriya Cha. His energies are so expansive that they systematically conduct everything in the cosmic manifestation without a flaw, although the Supreme Lord is far, far away. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so this section ends here, the description of spiritual world. 23 verse, this new section. Any question or comment for what we discussed in last three verses before we go to the new section, which is
Prabhuji, here it's given one who comes to that world, they remain and they won't fall. But usually, we also fall from to the material world from that world, right? Mm.
when Krishna is telling, is talking about falling from his abode. So no one falls from Krishna's abode. When we say that we have fallen to material world, so we have fallen from the state of Brahman, not from the state of Bhagavad Sakshatkar. If you have realized Krishna completely, you cannot fall. It's not possible. So, so we have not fallen from pure Krishna consciousness. We have fallen from incomplete Krishna consciousness.
Just for example, like, I mean, I have heard in normal classes, such sense, like, uh, for people who are like incomplete, they get a better life or chance to continue their journey, for which they will be taken birth in the very good families or pious, or in such cases, like rich families, so that they will be provided with everything and they don't have to worry about that and concentrate. But sometimes people don't take that advantage. So in that advantage, if they ruin themselves, then it's again going backward kind of thing only, right? From the spiritual.
Now, so you are now shifting to a different subject, isn't it? Basically, you are saying that if someone practices Krishna consciousness in this life, what we studied in chapter 6, someone practices
Mm.
Krishna consciousness or yoga, and then because of that, that person got a better birth in the next life to make progress, but that person did not take advantage of it. So then that person ruined his or her life.
Yeah.
So, so if in that case, yes, but then that is how does it make this system anyway wrong? You, one can rise to any platform, any high platform, and if one is not careful, one can come down from there. Till the time you have reached the ultimate pure state, which is Golokdham, right? So we have to understand this thing very nicely. Srila Prabhupada, he had to present the philosophy of Krishna consciousness to an audience which is highly influenced from Christian mindset, correct? Christian mindset, Islam background, atheistic background. So because of that, there are many things, many Vedic concepts which those people cannot understand in the first hand experience of the knowledge. They cannot understand. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada had to present in a way that at least you accept the process first. As you will progress, then you'll begin to understand it more. You know, if everything would have been told to them on the face that this is what it is, then just like if there is a small child who is beginning to show some interest in mathematics, and you start frightening the child, telling of him about calculus, then that child will be completely scared of studying mathematics,
Mm.
isn't it? So then you'll have to tell the child the basic concepts so that first of all that interest in mathematics should come. Similarly, conditioned soul is averse to Krishna consciousness. Aversion is there. Slight interest has to be first sparked. So Srila Prabhupada presented the philosophy in a way that first of all you develop some little interest in it. But there are many subject matters which Prabhupada did not touch or he did not completely explain. So one of them is how did we come to this material world? So he gave a very simple example. You came from Krishna's home, and therefore now you should go back to Krishna's home. But the detail of it he did not explain. So it is true we are coming from spiritual world, but it is not true that we fall down from Golok Dham. We fall from the periphery of spiritual world. That means we fall down from the state of Brahman, which is the original state of Jiva. And because there is a fall, therefore it is said to be a fall. Anyway, there is a fall, but the fall is not from Golok Dham. Not that I was participating in Krishna Leela and then I became envious of Krishna. Why is Krishna dancing with the gopi? And therefore, some people they maybe speak like this or they think like this, but that's not how it happens.
Okay.
The fall happens from the state of Brahman. So this is more explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in books like Jaiva Dharma, etc. At the same time, he also says that you should not too much delve into this subject matter because there are certain subject matters which lie beyond the realm of material intelligence, and material intelligence can never fathom them. So those subject matters one can only begin to understand once one has gone beyond the three modes. That is like the prerequisite. If you don't go beyond the three modes, you can't enter into that subject matter. So what the acharyas they do, they don't touch those subject matters in detail, in depth, because they know a conditioned soul can never understand them. However hard he tries, not possible. But then the problem with the conditioned soul is conditioned soul thinks, no, 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 no. At least try to explain to me. No, I'll understand. At least try explain. I am very intelligent person. You explain to me, I'll understand. But they know that that vision we don't have. So even if they explain, we will not understand. No, will not understand. Like to give an example, a very simple example. Let's say we are standing in front of it of an Archa Vigraha. Okay? All of us are standing in front of Archa Vigraha. How will we see that Archa Vigraha? Okay, we know this is Krishna, but how will we see that Archa Vigraha? At the end, we'll see that as a statue only, right? Made up of some material element. Hmm? Correct. Now, let's say Srila Prabhupada is standing in front of Archa Vigraha, and then that Archa Vigraha, who is completely live, for Srila Prabhupada is not a statue, it is a person standing there. And that Archa Vigraha tells Srila Prabhupada, now I want to eat Sandesh. Can you please bring me 2 Sandesh? So Srila Prabhupada then turns to one of us and says, the deity is asking for Sandesh. Now you may ask Prabhupada, can you please explain? But if Srila Prabhupada explains also, will I experience Krishna telling Srila Prabhupada that I want to Sandesh? Will I be able to experience it? No. Will I hear Krishna's voice? No. Why? Because I don't have that capacity. My qualification is not yet there. Like that, there are many spiritual subject matters which are beyond our qualification to understand, and therefore the acharyas they don't enter into it much. They leave it for the right time. That when you become qualified, then you go into it. So one such topic is how did the jiva come to material world? This is one such topic. Therefore, a very simple answer for this is you came because we had some envy towards Krishna. But then the detail of it, when did that envy come? How did that envy come? Where did that envy come? No, no explanation. Fine? But the fall does not happen from Golok Dham. Yeah.
Prabhuji, one other question. And from your explanation, you said, which is quite evident, that some people are very averse to Krishna consciousness or to Krishna. I mean, we see that a lot in the society that people are, though they are religious, they worship other gods, but they are very averse to Krishna. Why is that so? And on the other hand side, we see that some people are having that natural liking towards Krishna.
Past life.
Okay.
It's past life. It's sanskar that we are carrying with us. So that's why whatever our present nature is, it's because of our past life. Past lives, we can say.
Mm-hmm.
And it is because of Sangha association, what you associate with. That's how you become.
Because we see it's very difficult for those people to bring into Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, it is true. But but it's okay, no? Everyone is going through an evolutionary cycle.
Mm.
Not everyone is at the same level. Even within Krishna consciousness, not all devotees are at the same level, right?
Mm.
So everyone is going through an evolutionary cycle. That is the thing. And you can't force someone to change. You can facilitate, you can't force. That is there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next subject. 8.23. Yatra kale त्वनावृत्तिम् आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालं वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ. Best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. So now Krishna includes this factor of time. I mean, which is an important factor. At what time we do what. It plays a major role. As per the Vedic system, it does play a lot of role. Samay or Kal. As per modern civilization, you can eat at any time, you can sleep at any time, you can do anything at any time. That's what the modern culture has become, right? People are eating at midnight, 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So because they think it doesn't matter, you can do anything at any time. But from Vedic perspective, we understand no, there is proper time for everything, and that's what you should follow. Mhm. So, so there is time for leaving the body also. If the body is left at that time, then it will give certain result. If it is left at another time, it will give certain other result. That system is also there. So Krishna says if a yogi leaves the body at particular times, then the higher destination is attained. If the yogi leaves the body at other times, then he comes back to the same position. Hmm. Okay, that is there. But then Krishna says this applies only to a yogi. It doesn't apply to a devotee. It applies to the process of Ashtanga Yoga. It doesn't apply to the process of Bhakti Yoga. Mhm. So he'll explain now for the yogis when they should leave the body. That's why the yogis have to wait for the right time and then they want to leave. Like we famous example is Maharaj Pitamaha Bhishma, right? He was waiting for a time to leave the body, the right time. What is that time? What was that time? Uttarayana was waiting. When will it come? Then I can go. Isn't it? So they wait
Prabhu,
like.
Prabhu, but Bhishma Pitamaha was a great devotee of the Lord. Why did he have to wait for the time? He was not a
Because
yogi,
though he
right?
was a great devotee, many times devotees of the Lord, they also do things to teach people who are not pure devotees because they come for a purpose. Na? So they will teach that subject very well. So Bhishma
Okay.
Pitama, though is a devotee, he also taught many things which are for yogis. Otherwise, how will they learn?
Okay.
This is also very interesting. Many times, pure devotees may come to teach something less than pure devotion. Also, just like Lord Krishna in Bhagavad-Gita, he's teaching Karma Yoga, he's teaching Jnana Yoga, he's teaching Ashtanga Yoga, he's teaching pure devotional service also. Now someone may ask, why is he teaching all this? He can only teach pure devotional service because he has to give knowledge to everyone wherever they are. Similarly, when pure devotees also come, they don't always talk only at the platform of pure devotional service. They may talk at lower platforms also for other people. Understanding?
Yes.
So Bhishma Pitama wanted to leave that example for people to follow. That's though he had no such need, but he did it just to set a example for the yogis. Leaving body at the right time. Let's read the purport. Did I read the translation? Yes, I think I read the translation. Sankarshan Vishnu Prabhuji, please read the purport. Hare Krishna. Uh, your voice is not coming properly. Maybe your network is not good.
Network is disturbing, Prabhuji.
So I'll ask someone else to read then. Sharada Mataji.
The unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Lord, who are totally surrendered souls, do not care when they leave their bodies or by what method. They leave everything in Krishna's hands and so easily and happily return to Godhead. But those who are unalloyed devotees, who depend instead on such methods of spiritual realization as Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Hatha Yoga, must leave their body at a suitable time in order to be sure of whether or not they will return to the world of birth and death. If the yogi is perfect, he can select the time and situation for leaving this material world. But if he is not so expert, his success depends on his accidentally passing away at a certain suitable time. The suitable times at which one passes away does not come back are explained by the Lord in the next verse. According to Acharya Baldev Vidyabhushan, the Sanskrit word kala used herein refers to the presiding deity of time.
Yes. Agnir aha shuklaha kshanamasa uttarayanam tatra prayat gachanti brahma vido janaha. Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. So this is a very technical actually subject, and we cannot really understand how does this happen. Bhakti Bhushan Prabhu explains in his commentary, but that also is not sufficient for us to comprehend how does this happen. Okay, but just for information, we can understand. Then the main purpose of this whole subject is not to even teach us the science of, the details of how the person goes to the next destination. The whole idea is to explain that on the path of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga, there is dependency on the moment of time. When did you leave the body? But in the path of Bhakti Yoga, there is no such dependency. That is the only thing that is being explained here. Okay. So therefore, the acharyas don't go into any detail. How does this happen technically? Uh, let's read we read the purport, right? Hmm. No, we did not read, no? 24, we read.
No, we did not read the
No
20.
problem.
We read 23.
23. Yes. So those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god in the light at an auspicious moment of the day during the fortnight during the 6 months. Purport. Tulasi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu pranams. When fire, light, day, and the fortnight of the moon are mentioned, it is to be understood that all of them. It is to be understood that over all of them there are various presiding deities who make arrangements for the passage of the soul. At the time of death, the mind carries one on the path to a new life. If one leaves the body at the time designated above, either accidentally or by arrangement, it is possible for him to attain the impersonal Brahmajyoti. Mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange the time and place to leave the body. Others have no control. If by accident they leave at an auspicious moment, then they will not return to the cycle of birth and death. But otherwise, there is every possibility that they will have to return. However, For the pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning, whether he leaves the body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment, by accident or by arrangement. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So let's look at this explanation given by Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhu. So he says 12 devatas help that soul to go to the spiritual destination. How does it happen? When that yogi leaves the body, the first devata that helps that yogi is the light devata. Okay, there's a devata behind light. Then there is also a devata who is the presiding deity of day. Day. Din and Rat we say, right? Day and night. So day. Then there is a presiding deity of the waxing fortnight. Then there is a presiding deity of Uttarayana. Fine. Hmm? Then there is a presiding deity of the time period called year. This is a very interesting concept that even time has deities behind them. Month has a deity, day has a deity, year has a deity. The yugas are also personalities. So this is very interesting. Kali Yuga is ruled by a personality whose name is Kali. Similarly, when you study Mahabharata, Dwapar Yuga is ruled by a personality whose name is Dwapara. So like that, there are stories also of these personalities given in Mahabharata. So even these sections of time which we say day, month, week, these are also having personalities behind them, controlling personalities. So then next, the yogi goes to the next personality, which is the deity of air. Then goes to the deity of sun. Then to the deity of moon. Then to the deity of lightning. Then to the deity of water. Then to the deity of, then goes to Indra. Then goes to Brahma. And then Brahmaji helps that person go into spiritual world. When the Brahma dies, then Brahma will take that person also with him to spiritual world. Okay? So this is called Krama Mukti, technical. Krama Mukti means gradual liberation. And we should know that wherever we go as Jivatma, we never go alone. There is always someone who escorts us. If you go to higher planets, someone will come from higher planet to escort you. And if you go to hellish planet, then someone from hellish planet will come to escort you. That is there. Just like when Yamaraj summons the Jiva, then the Yamadutas come, right? When that soul goes to Devata, some planet of the Devata, then Devadutas will come, like that. So the soul doesn't wander around by itself.
Prabhuji, question. Sometimes they say, na, like if you do not do the shraddha or the kriya karma after the death, then the soul doesn't get liberated, or it doesn't, or it creates obstruction for its journey.
Yes, it.
So does it mean like in that case they do not get the support of the presiding deities of these different aspects?
Yes, that is true. Actually, we discussed that in first chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. So that is true. If Shraddha is not done, then that ancestor will suffer. More than that ancestor, we will suffer. That ancestor will suffer, we will also suffer. So that is true. Because it is said in the scriptures, Vedic scriptures, if your ancestors are not happy with you, then 5 things you will always get. 5 problems in life. And if the ancestors are unhappy, we will suffer. They will suffer naturally, we will also suffer. It's not that, okay, they will suffer, we will enjoy. No, we will also suffer. So therefore, Shraddha should be done. It's good.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one question. Except in India, barely any other country would do something like this. Does it mean everybody are restless souls other than Indians?
Yeah. That's why in the Western countries, uh, many people are haunted. That you will not see or know. But those people who have knowledge of this, they can see. So in
Like
Western
all,
countries, these people, many of these people, they are haunted. They have multiple personality disorder. So that we don't see, because how can we see? We don't have those that vision and understanding. Medically, the doctor will say this person is abnormal, but that's not just abnormality. There is some problem there. So the Westerners, they suffer a lot because of that. Externally, it may look they are very happy and all that, but when it comes to the mind, so then they suffer a lot at that level.
and
And
even Orientals. Sorry, sir.
they end up in Preta Yoni. Preta Yoni means they just wander around them.
Prabhu, can I ask a question? Like,
No,
no,
first let her
that-
complete, no, then I'll
oh, sorry.
complete.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
One question, Prabhuji. Even in Orientals, they do have some procedures, is what I hear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, they have.
So,
Yes.
yeah, does it mean that they are okay also? Like,
No. So you see, the thing is, in different cultures, how you do it technically may differ. You understand? But that process is there, and in some rich cultures and civilizations, they follow. But the way they follow might be a bit different. But they follow at
yeah,
least something. So
yeah,
in countries like China, Taiwan, these countries do still have some ceremonies of that nature, uh, but it may not be exactly how we do, because these countries, they are disconnected from Vedic culture, but they have some amsha of Vedic culture. How has this happened is very it's a big history. So it has happened because of Buddha.
right.
Okay, so it has happened because of Buddha. So, but they were connected to the Vedic culture very much, but because of the influence of Lord Buddha, and there are two Buddhas who came. There's not one Buddha actually. There are two Buddhas who came. One is the Buddha who's incarnation of Lord Vishnu, and there is the other Buddha who is Siddhartha Gautama. These two are not the same. We should know this. So many times in India we confuse. We think Siddhartha Gautam, who later on became Buddha, is the same who is Buddha incarnation of Lord Vishnu, but they are not the same, you know. So these two Buddhas who came, because of their influence to some extent, the other part of, you can say, Asia, they got disconnected from Vedic culture, but they still have some amsha of Vedic culture.
Okay, Prabhuji, makes sense.
But those, as we go west and west, further west, what happens, and then there is complete disconnection.
Yes.
So they suffer a lot. They suffer a lot. They will not accept this, and many Indians may not also accept, but it is reality. It is true.
Yes, Prabhuji, makes sense.
Yes,
Prabhu,
well, okay. Who was next? Sharda Mataji, were you saying, or Aarti Mataji was saying? Sharda Mataji was saying.
Yes, it was me, Prabhu. Sorry for interrupting. No, the question was, it was the same. Like, Prabhupada makes a statement that whatever, scripture that you follow, you will attain the result of that scripture if you follow it perfectly.
Yeah.
So now,
Yes.
let's say, within Christianity, they have this tradition of whatever, burying the body and having some, whatever things that they do. So how can we say that, they are not getting the benefit of following
They
their own
will get the
school?
benefit, yes, but then why you want to compare it to Vedic system that they'll get the same benefit? They'll get some benefit, but it
They'll
will
get
not be
some
the
benefit.
same as Vedic
Mm.
civilization benefit.
Right.
So what
Okay.
will be the benefit is if that person remains a good Christian for few lives, by Krishna's mercy, that person may get birth in Vedic civilization sometime.
Mm.
That is the benefit that they will get.
That is the benefit. Mm.
But if they think I'll just remain a good Christian and by remaining good Christian I can go back home back to God, that is not possible.
No. And also, like, you were just briefly mentioning Gautam Buddha. I always assume that it was the same. Is there a different Leela for Buddha, who is
Yeah,
Vishnu?
yeah,
Okay. Where can we read about this? Just out of curiosity, maybe.
nowhere you can read about it.
No. Okay. Okay.
So this is explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in a book called Tattva Viveka.
Okay.
So it's not something which is an open public information. This is explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in this book called Tattva Viveka, where
Okay.
he tries to filter many misconceptions of the modern day civilization. What we think is correct, what the society accepts as correct, and all that. So this is one thing which he explains that these two Buddhas are not the same.
Okay. But the avatar of, Lord Vishnu, then the story that we grew up hearing about
Yeah,
him,
that's wrong story.
that's so okay. Good to know.
That is the story of Siddhartha Gautama.
Siddhartha Gautam.
Who-
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So who
So
is
that
Siddhartha
is
Gautam? He's just a saint, or what
who
Siddhartha
Siddhartha
Gautam
Gautama.
is, yeah.
So what happened is, okay, now you are opening this subject, so I'll just tell few things about it, then it will make a lot of sense to you. So what happened is, uh, let me first of all give an example. We know there was a personality called Adi Shankaracharya, right?
Yes, we do.
But when was he on the planet? Something like 1200 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But at present also, all the mathas which were originally started by Adi Shankaracharya, the head of that matha is called Shankaracharya only.
Yes. Yes.
Fine. You
Mm.
understand?
Yeah.
Let's say because of some some uh, some reasons, this Shankaracharya, who is at present one of the
Mm.
heads of one of the matas, becomes more popular as Shankaracharya than the original Shankaracharya.
Yeah, that's problematic. Yeah.
Then what will happen?
Mm.
Then the world will only know about this Shankaracharya. What,
Mm.
how did he look like? What was his story? What all things he
Mm.
did? And the original Shankaracharya, he'll just get lost in the history,
Fair
right?
enough. Mm.
The same thing happened with Buddha.
Same thing happened with me. Mm.
The
So,
same thing
okay.
happened with Buddha. So there is an original Buddha who was an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. But when the Siddhartha Gautama, whose story we hear, when he went to Bodh Gaya and he sat under that Bodhi tree and he became enlightened. So this is a big concept in Buddhism which is existing till date. Like now also they
Mm.
believe it's the same Lama who comes again and again,
Mm.
right? So what they thought is that original Buddha who is mentioned in the Shastra is this the same Buddha who is sitting in below this Bodhi tree.
Mm.
And then widely he became known as the Buddha.
Mm.
But and then whatever he taught, which has become the modern Buddhism, has come to known as Buddhism, but this Buddhism is very different from the Buddhism taught by that Buddha who is avatar of Vishnu.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
So that's how it is.
Prabhuji, is there a
Thank you.
timeline difference also? Do we know that between the
Yeah,
original Buddha?
that Buddha, he came before Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Okay.
So in Shastra, it is explained that Buddha came something like 3,400 years ago. Whereas this Buddha we talk about, they say he came maybe like 1,200, 1,400 years ago.
Prabhuji, are there any like a form or kind of thing where we can know that Buddha is like this, like for suppose Krishna's form or Rama's form,
No,
because this
because
Buddha.
there is very less description of that original Buddha in the Shastra. So how will we know? Because all our knowledge of the incarnations, avatar, comes from scripture only, no? How does Krishna look like? How do we know? How does Nrsimha look like? How do we know? We know from scripture.
Yes.
So about that Buddha, there is very less information.
Okay. So there is no resemblance in the pictures or kind of thing as well, like to the recent Buddha and that original
No,
Buddha.
no,
Okay.
And Prabhuji, are there any teachings still existing of the original Buddha in comparison
no.
to
Yeah,
the
it
new
is
one?
there in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is a teaching, simple teaching. It's not very complicated.
Okay.
The purpose for which he came, stop animal slaughter and all that. That is there. Nothing more than that much.
Mm.
Because
Okay.
that Buddha did not teach only, no. When they asked him, tell us about God, he said, next question.
Hmm.
Oh,
And I mean, it makes sense because um, the Buddhism was still prevalent when Adi Shankaracharya came, and he sort of preached, monastic philosophy to get rid of. So the timeline between Siddhanta Gautama and Adi Shankaracharya doesn't really match. That makes some
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. No, no, but even this, the Adi Shankaracharya, the Buddhist he defeated were not the original Buddha's followers. These were also the followers of this Buddha we are talking about.
Okay.
Because the original Buddha's teachings, they became lost very much. This next Buddha who came, he he took some of the original tenets of the original Buddha and he added lot of his, and that's what became rampant in India. The original Buddha, that teaching is not known to many people in India or outside India because that got covered by what is known as Buddhism now. So Adi Shankaracharya, he threw these people, these Buddhists out of India.
All right.
Prabhuji, I have a
Hmm.
question.
Yes.
You were explaining that many people who suffer from multiple personality disorder, they are haunted. And I wanted to ask, some people are mentally disturbed and they have very different behavior. Like here in India also, there are some organizations who take care of them. So is everyone who's having that kind of issue, they are actually haunted?
Yeah. They have energy issues. Energy issues. It's not so much a medical problem, it's problem on in the subtle body.
Okay,
It's
thank you,
not
Prabhuji.
really a it's not really a medical problem. It's more of a problem in the subtle body. Therefore, medical science cannot solve it. Medical science can only observe it. It can, you can say, regulate it, but medical science cannot solve it. Yeah. So
Prabhuji, in this,
these
This
are
is a very
issues in the
interesting.
these are
Yeah.
issues in the we have our gross body, then we have our subtle body, Then we have our causal body. So these subtle topics which we are talking about, they have effect not so much on the gross body, but they have more effect in the subtle platform. And how can medical science treat that? It is very gross science. Therefore, you heard of this term, it cures the symptom, not the root. What is that called? Symptomatic treatment?
Yeah,
What is it
symptomatic
called?
treatment, yes.
So that's what it does. It doesn't understand the root.
Prabhuji, so their subtle body has the influence of some other entity.
Yeah. Entities, energies, all those things are there. Therefore, you see, whatever given in the scriptures, it's not useless or it's not just like that. It's very, very scientific. I mean, scientific in the sense, not in terms of modern science. It's reality. It does have an effect on our life. It does have an effect on our subtle body. It does have effect on our mind. It makes a lot of difference. Because we don't accept it, believe it, we think it doesn't work, but it works. It works to such a great extent. And that is the sad state of modern civilization. We don't accept it, and because of that, the degradation that is happening in human civilization is too fast. The quality of degradation in the mind. Physical degradation may not be much, but the mental degradation is very heavy. Very heavy degradation in the mind. And the reason for that is the human beings are going away from the scriptural tenets, the injunctions, the way of life given in the scriptures, how one should live one's life. So then there is problem, big problem.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So
Prabhu,
Prabhuji,
I have a question. Sorry.
Okay.
Shall I go
When
first, Prabhu?
yeah, go ahead, Mother.
Aarti
Thank
Mataji also
you.
had a question, right? If you have a question, it will be nice you raise your hand, then we will know, right, who all has a question. Otherwise, I'll forget if you have a question and you spoke in between, and then I would not know. So you raise your hand if you have a question. So we know, okay, these many questions are there. So Aarti Mataji, you don't have a question? Okay. Ram Raghav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, so this uh, the result of the karmic reactions or the effect of the kriya vidhi that we do for the dead bodies, it's not applicable for devotees, or it is also equally applicable for devotees, because sometimes we hear that from the people that okay, this is not applicable for devotees and it's not required to be done.
Yeah, lazy people say like that. So you see, we should know one thing. Uh, First of all, who is a devotee?
I mean, anyone who does devotional service is a devotee, or that's how we
No,
know.
one who has become a devotee is a devotee. One who is doing devotional service is practicing to become a devotee.
Hmm.
So there is a difference now. So when we say this doesn't apply to devotees, yes, but then we are not there. We are not that category. We are practicing. We are sadhakas. We are not bhaktas. Sadhaka and bhakta is different. And therefore, nowadays I am very much emphasizing this that we should, when at least we are discussing philosophy, in Vyavahar, in culture, it is okay. But when you're discussing philosophy, let's use these two different words,
Hmm.
sadhaka and bhakta, practitioner and devotee. Okay, in general behavior, we will say you are a devotee, she is a devotee, he is a devotee. But when we are discussing philosophy, Siddhanta, then we should have these two terms, different terms, because these are two different categories. One is sadhaka, and one is actually devotee, practitioner and devotee. So it applies differently. Many things of the scripture will apply differently to them. So we should follow rituals. It's not that we should not. We should follow rituals. Who should not follow? Who doesn't have a background? That person need not follow. No problem. So let's say someone is born in Western country and that person now comes to Krishna consciousness. Even if that person doesn't follow the rituals of Vedic culture, that person will be exempted from it. You know why? Because that person is not born in that culture. But if you're born in India or Vedic culture and you come to Krishna consciousness and then you give up those tenets of Vedic culture just in the name of Krishna consciousness or being a devotee, you will not be exempted from it. Will not be exempted. Like I'll give you now, I'll ask you a very simple question. Let's say there is a Shudra. Okay, all of you think nicely and then you'll understand what I'm trying to say. If there's a Shudra born in a Shudra family, but he gets sadhu sangha, and because of sadhu sangha, he becomes a Brahmana, not by birth, not by social convention, but in qualities. Okay, so if this Shudra does three sandhya means worshipping the deity three times, Gayatri and all that. What will you see this three sandhya as for that Shudra? Punya karma, Nitya karma, Papa karma. Punya karma means something which you are doing, which will give you material reward, or you can say higher benefit. Nitya karma means that is your duty. Even if you do it, you are not going to get any reward because that's what you're supposed to do. And Papa karma means if you do it, there will be degradation.
Prabhuji, Punya Karma.
So if a Shudra, born Shudra, by association became a Brahmana, and he does three sandhya, which he is not supposed to do, there is no injunction for him like that. If he does, what will happen? It is Punya karma. Fine. But a Brahmana born in a Brahmin family, he does three sandhya, it is only Nitya karma, it's not Punya karma. If the Shudra keeps the three sandhyas, no problem. But if the Brahmana skips the three sandhyas, then it becomes Papa karma. So it matters a lot. Therefore, if we are born in Vedic culture and then we can say, I am a devotee now, so give up everything which is there to be followed. No, then there'll be problem. Therefore, in iskcon, um, we have to understand that Prabhupada made iskcon as a platform for people to worldwide associate and practice Krishna consciousness. But he did not want to make, a new religion. And but sadly, this is what is happening in present day ISKCON. Everything ISKCON is a new religion. We have our way of living, our way of practicing dharma, our way of civilization, because we are at special category called devotee category. But there's nothing like that to understand this. Now, what I am saying, many people will not agree with me. But anyway, that's what I have heard, understood, and I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Because this making one for all, I don't understand that. It's not going to work. There are certain things which are same for all, but then there are certain things which cannot be same for all. Okay. Yes. Tulasi Mataji, I think you had a question.
Prabhu, you clarified it, but whilst you were speaking, I just want to understand, a Shudra born in a Shudra family qualifies to become a Brahmana, but a Brahmana born in a Shudra family, that is also possible, right? Depends on their nature. They can become a Brahmana, or is it not?
That is again, we are
Everything.
confusing two different things.
Yeah.
So we have to know there is Varna Vibhag and there is Guna Vibhag. Okay. So when you are saying a Brahmana born in a family, by Varna he'll be always Shudra only. He will never become a Brahmana. Only by Guna he can become Brahman, not by Varna. That Varna Vibhag will always be there. So there are many such things which are there, which we have to really then discuss in depth to understand. So that Varna Vibhag doesn't change. Therefore, therefore, let me ask you a question now. You become a Brahmin twice initiated in iskcon, let's say. Twice initiated Brahman in iskcon. Fine? Huh? And you get this thread also, we call Janyo. Do you think you become qualified to perform karma kanda sacrifices there? Vedic yajna?
No problem.
Why then? Because you have become Brahman only by guna. You have not become Brahman by varna.
Okay,
That only
understood.
person who is born in a Brahmin family, who is Brahman by varna, can do. So there are very such things. I mean, therefore, we need to discuss deeply to understand. So Varna Vibhag is there, Guna Vibhag is there, all that is there. You can never tell someone's gunas, very difficult. You can only identify people's Varna. Identification is very, very difficult. A person born in a Shudra family is a Brahmin. To identify him as a Brahmin is a very difficult job, because how will you know that person is mentally clean? Is there a parameter to check how clean you are in the mind?
Impossible. Yeah.
Impossible, right? There's no parameter to check that. So we can only understand things on Varna level. Srila Prabhupada, many times he presented things because he was presenting things from an absolute viewpoint, you know, and to give people little, uh, you can say, intelligence, that they go beyond the ritualistic mentality. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, he cut down a lot of misconceptions which are present in the society, to help people become more thoughtful, to help people go more deeper into understanding what the scriptures are and how the scriptures talk, what is the language of the scriptures and all that. But Srila Prabhupada, do you think Srila Prabhupada wanted to change the social order? Never. Because how can he change? Krishna made that order. He cannot change that order. So now also at present, many people who are born in Brahmin families, they have qualities of a Brahmana. But in iskcon, we think, no, no, it's not possible only. Why not? It's possible. It is possible. There are many people who are born in Brahmin families, they have the qualities of a Brahman. You know? And I'll tell you something very interesting. In iskcon, in the modern day iskcon, though we say we believe in Brahman by quality and not Brahman by birth, but most of the scholars who are there in iskcon, they are born in a Brahmin family. No. Born in a Brahmin family, they study the Shastra very well. They can explain the Shastra very well. So such things are there. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to the topic we were discussing. I think few more questions. Lakshmi
One
Mataji.
question, Prabhuji. One question, Prabhuji. r- you spoke about the rituals, right? Where, like Karmakanda as an example, that we should not be skipping just uh, because of the whole we are in iskcon and we are bhaktas and all of that. So just bringing it down to the day-to-day level, right? I can understand this from rituals like for demigod worships, like some Ganesha festival or some other devi. I understand that that is because it's a demigod related ritual. We do not have to follow that. I get that. The question I had is about, like, say, the slightly bigger ones. For example, you bought a new home or something, right? Normally there is a homa that happens and all of that. Just because we are in, because in fact we were personally also advised you don't have to
Okay,
do all
okay.
of that,
Let
right?
me
It
let
doesn't
me let
matter.
me tell you. Yeah, you should do it.
Okay. And does it have to be the with the iskcon related
It should be both.
pundits or okay?
Should have the Vedic ceremony also, and you should have Harinam also.
Okay. Are there like such rituals? Obviously, it's birth, death, those kind of ones, plus moving into a, because that has other. Are there any other ones that you would recommend,
Yeah,
Prabhuji?
it's
That
there, no. It's there, Vivaha is there. There is also one sanskar. Child is born, there is sanskar for that. Griha Pravesh sanskar is there. So such things are there. So we should do that as Grihasthas, we should do that. And it both can be included. A Vedic ceremony also and Harinam also. Both the things are required.
is Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. That's the question.
Oh, Prabhuji, can I ask?
Yes, Madhuri.
Prabhuji, when you told like people who are born in such traditions, if they don't do that, becomes a papa karma. Just because they are Krishna conscious, it doesn't. They don't have to skip. Prabhuji, there are certain not things like some traditions which families follows. Like this is out of my personal thing because for suppose we have a cradle ceremony which is completely different. Like for suppose my husband's side is different when the kids are born they are doing something and which I felt superstitious because if they don't follow that, the child will be taken away. So we have to follow in a certain manner. So yeah, I felt it superstitious, but what should we follow that or like?
No. So when we say tradition, it should be Vedic tradition. It should not be something which is concocted.
Mm.
Vedic tradition are given in the Vedas. That we
Oh,
cannot skip. So originally we started from where Ram Raga Prabhu mentioned about Shraddha. So Shraddha is not a concocted concept. It is given in the Vedas.
yeah.
Correct? So what is given in the Vedas, we must follow. That is no question there. So things are mentioned, even sanskars are mentioned in Vedas, like Vivaha sanskar. It is mentioned in the scriptures, right? You are having a house. So in a house, yajna should be performed. That is also mentioned in the scriptures. So such
Yes.
sanskars are given in the Vedas. So when we say we should follow, what we are talking about is the Vedic sanskars. But then there are certain things which has just become a part of our culture and tradition because of some superstition, some belief, something this and that. That is not to be followed. No, that is only unnecessary baggage that we are carrying. That we need to understand. So there are certain things which we are just following because it's my family, my kul people are doing it for generation and generation. No, that is superstition. That is their personal thinking. Hmm. Okay. If there is a history of some deva or devi associated with that, then you may be okay. We have some kul devta, kula devi, and it has some connection to it. That's a different thing.
Yes.
But if it is just some out of some fear, out of some belief, something people do, that is not.
Because it involves Bali, which we are not okay with that.
Yeah, so that's what we should not do. Yeah, there are certain things which we can avoid, definitely avoid. But we are talking more of the required things. Shraddha is very important. We should do Shraddha. Like that, there are other things also which are very important. We should do those sanskars. Very, very essential.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So let's come back to Bhagavad-Gita. What is the difference between light and lightning? There is a difference between light and lightning. No, light is any light. Lightning is what you see in the sky when there is thunderbolt and there's rain and all that. You see light. That is lightning. I don't know how do you call it in Taiwan, but that's lightning. And light is um, the mother who asked this question. She's from Taiwan. That's why I'm telling that. So light is different. Lightning is different. Okay. And then the next verse, text 25. धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णः षण्मासा दक्षिणायनम् तत्र चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिर्योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months, when the sun passes to the south, reaches to the moon planet, but again comes back. So if the yogi doesn't die at the right time, what happens? Can go to the moon, stay for some time, have a nice vacation, and then come back. Why? Because moon is the planet for enjoyment. Moon is the place. Like we say, na, generally people go to a cold place, na, for enjoying. No one wants to go. Nowadays, people are very crazy. They even go to a desert to enjoy. But generally, people go to a cold place to enjoy, isn't it? So, similarly, in the planets, heavenly planets, moon is the cold planet for enjoyment. So they go to moon, they enjoy, and then they come back. Now, let me ask a very interesting question to you. So if they go to moon, do you think they end up living in the same place where Moon Devta lives? Because they're going to the moon, so now no, it's not like that. They only can be in a particular section of the moon planet where they are allowed. They are not allowed in the inside part where the moon devta is and other presiding deities are. That is their personal, you can say, quarter. They like if you happen to go to uh, Dubai or Abu Dhabi, you cannot enter into the king's palace and live like the king there, no? The sheikh. You can from outside see, okay, this is where the king lives, but you cannot go inside there and eat the same food as the king or enjoy the same as the king. Similarly, these people, when they go to the moon, it's not that they will also enjoy like the moon devata. From outside, they'll see, okay, so many things. We'll have some fun and then come back. Hmm? So they return, purport. Someone please read the purport.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, bro.
Yeah. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. In the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila Muni mentions that those who are expert in fruitive activities and sacrificial methods on earth attain to the moon at death. These elevated souls live on the moon for about 10,000 years by demigod calculations and enjoy life by drinking somarasa. They eventually return to earth. This means that on the moon there are higher classes of living beings, though they may not be perceived by the gross senses. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. So the path of the return is also given by Baldev Vidyabhushan. First, the deity of smoke takes that jiva, then the deity of night, then the deity of waning fortnight, then Dakshinayana, and ear, Pitriloka, ether, finally moon. Twenty-six. Shukla Krishne Gati Hyete Jagatah Shashvate Mate Ekaya Yatyana Vrittim Anyaya Vartate Punaha. According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns. So the same description of departure and return is quoted by Acharya Baldev Vidyabhushan from Chandogya Upanishad. Those who are fruitive laborers and philosophical speculators from time immemorial are constantly going and coming. Actually, they do not attain ultimate salvation, for they do not surrender to Krishna. नैते शिति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन. Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. So for a devotee, it doesn't matter what time he or she leaves the body, because for a devotee, different arrangements are made by Lord Krishna. If that person is going back home back to Godhead, then regardless of the time, place, circumstance, that person will go. So that's being explained here. Okay. Anirudh Prabhu, please read.
Krishna is here advising Arjun that he should not be disturbed by the different paths the soul can take when leaving the material world. A devotee of Supreme Lord should not worry whether he will the devotee should be firmly established in Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna. He should know that concern over either of these two paths is troublesome. The best way to be absorbed in Krishna is to be always dovetailed in his service, and this will make one's path to spiritual kingdom safe, certain, and direct. The word Yoga Yukta is especially significant in this verse. One who is firm in yoga is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness in all his activities. Sri Rup Goswami advises anasaktasya vishayan yatharaham upayun jata. One should not be unattached in material affairs and do everything in Krishna consciousness. By this system, which is called Yukta Vairagya, one attains perfection. Therefore, the devotee is not disturbed by these descriptions because he knows that this passage to the supreme abode is guaranteed by devotional service.
Yes, thank you. Text 28, last verse. Vedeshu yajneshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yat punyaphalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanamupeti chadyam. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. So someone who is practicing bhakti, that person doesn't have to do other things given in the Vedas. But for that, that person has to then again very nicely practice and perfect devotional service. Then that is okay. But otherwise, one has to follow some extent. Purport. Sanjay Mishra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. This verse is the summation of the 7th and 8th chapters, which particularly deal with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order, and if the master neglects to call the student for food that day, the student fasts. There are some of the Vedic principles. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing brahmacharya. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for some time, at least from age 5 to 20, he becomes a man of perfect character. Study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After this training, the brahmachari is allowed to enter into household life and marry. When he is a householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment. He must also give charity according to the country, time, and candidate, discriminating among charity and goodness in passion and in ignorance, as described in Bhagavad-Gita. Then, after retiring from household life, upon accepting the order of Vanprastha, he undergoes severe penances, living in forest, dressing with a tree bark, not shaving, etc. By carrying out the orders of Brahmacharya, householder life, Vanprastha, and finally Sannyasa, one becomes elevated to the perfectional stage of life. Some are then elevated to heavenly kingdoms, and when they become even more advanced, they are liberated into the spiritual sky, either in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti or in Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Loka. This is the path outlined by Vedic literatures. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. The words idam viditva indicate that one should understand the instructions given by Sri Krishna in this chapter and the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or mental speculation, but by hearing them in association with devotees. Chapters 7 through 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 and the last 6 chapters are like the covering for the middle 6 chapters, which are specially protected by the Lord. If one is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially this middle 6 chapters in association of devotees, then his life at once becomes glorified beyond all penances, sacrifices, charities, speculations, etc. For one can achieve all the results of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. One who has little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Krishna, not from mental speculators. This is a sign of faith. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotee's association, one actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. By advancement in the association of the devotee, one is placed in devotional service. And this service dispels all one's misgivings about Krishna or God and Krishna's activities, form, pastimes, name, and other features. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one study. Then one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains the state of feeling always Krishna consciousness. In the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfectional stage of his life enables the devotee to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual sky, Goloka Vrindavan, where the devotee becomes eternally happy. Thus end the Bhagavad Bhakti Vedanta purports to the 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of attaining the Supreme. Hare Krishna.
Right. So here Srila Prabhupada very mercifully explains to us how to become a devotee. Now coming back to our discussion, our question was, what about the rituals? Should we follow or not? The answer is, if in your devotional service you have come to the stage of nishtha, which stage? Nishtha. Then you can give up the rituals, no problem. Then no need. If you have come to the stage of nishtha, then no need of any ritual.
But Prabhuji, how do you understand that we've reached that stage?
If you will come, you will understand. If you're not understanding, means you're not there.
Okay.
So if you come to the stage of nishtha, that means then you can give up rituals. What is nishtha? What is the meaning of nishtha? Huh? Steadiness. So that steadiness comes how? When one has become free from influence of Rajaguna and Tamaguna. So that is nishtha. So if you come to that stage while practicing Krishna consciousness, then give up rituals, no problem. Then there will not be any papa, no sin. Because the consciousness is nirmal now, or it is Krishna consciousness. Then no problem. That's what Prabhupada explains here. You see, he very nicely explains here that you should study and understand Bhagavad-Gita. Then by advancement in devotional service, all the misgivings about Krishna, God, Krishna's activities, form, pastimes will go away. After these misgivings have been cleared away. So misgivings have been cleared away means what? Anartha nivritti has happened. What will happen then? One becomes fixed in one study. That means you come to the stage of nishtha. Then one relishes Bhagavad Gita. So relishes Bhagavad Gita means ruchi has come. Okay, so then one feels always Krishna conscious. So there is asakti and bhava. And the advanced stage, one completely falls in love with Krishna. That's prema. So one comes to nishtha, then rituals, if you don't know, no problem, because the purpose is solved. At the end, rules are not the goal. The rules are for you to come to certain stage. So if you have come to that stage, then you can give up the rules, no problem. But before coming to that stage, giving up rules is not nice. All right. So if you have a doubt about whether I am in nishtha or not, then definitely you are not at nishtha firstly. Secondly, nishtha is not easily attained because anartha nivritti is long time taking process. Takes long time for anartha nivritti. Please stop here. Any questions or comments?
Yes, Prabhuji, one question. You say like for Nishtha, we need to be free from Rajo and Tamoguna, right? But as long as
Influence of
we,
Raja and Tamaguna.
yeah, but as long as we remain in the material world, we are influenced by three modes of nature, right?
No. If you are in nishtha, then you are still in material world. You will not be influenced by these two.
So it is still possible being in the material world and you are not influenced by
Of course.
Rajo and Tamo. Okay.
Of course, it's possible. They will come. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in Madhurya Kadamini. They will come. They will enter the heart. And they will not disturb your conscience. And they will go away.
Okay.
That means you are in nishtha.
Prabhuji, may I ask?
But if you become disturbed, I'll come to you, Mataji. But if you become disturbed, that means you are not at nishtha.
Okay. Means the influence of this triguna will be there in the material world, but the Rajo and Tamo doesn't affect the person who is at the Nishtha stage. That's how we understand. Okay. Thank you for that.
Influence will be there, but it will not affect. Only when one comes to the stage of bhava, the influence will also not be there.
Okay.
Yes, Eka Prema Mataji.
Prabhuji, I'm Mataji's daughter. I'm attending with her. Can I ask? Is it okay?
Yes, no problem.
Thank you. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask, you were explaining about Nitya Karma, and that is as per the order we are born in. Now, what are actually the instructions of being born into that order? We don't know that. So, how can we do? And also, for women, like it will just depend on the family. It will depend more on their family, even when they are younger and even when they are married. So, how can they actually follow the rituals?
Very good question. So because we don't know, there are two things now. First is, if you don't know, then you have to learn about it. But in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to learn these things in detail because there is no qualified person to teach. Right? Isn't it? Second thing, if there is a qualified person to teach, we don't have so much time to learn. So then how it has been made very simple for people of Kali Yuga. Lord Krishna instructs and the acharyas they instruct that you follow the principles of dharma, which are common for all, regardless of which order you are in. So what are those principles of dharma? Truthfulness, cleanliness, kindness, mercy, austerity, charity. You follow, so you do activities which will promote these things, and you stay away from activities which will decrease these things. Then you are safe, you're protected. Even if you don't know what all rituals you're supposed to do, born in a particular varna, particular order, whatever you don't know. You understand?
Yes,
Because
Prabhuji.
the purpose of all those rituals is what? That you develop saintly qualities. Purpose is that. At the end, what is the purpose? That's the purpose. So if I don't know the detail, but I know the goal of those details and I can work on the goal, then I have done what I'm supposed to do. Therefore, these are basic dharmas for all the human beings, regardless of which family you are born in, what is your varna, what is your border, what is your ashram, all that. It's same. And if you follow that, it's good enough. And then you follow rituals as much you know what you know. Okay.
Thank
Yes, any other question? Shada Mataji, your hand is up. Is that for a question?
It's for reading, Prabhu.
Okay, so then next week. Dinanath.
No, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I have a question. In one of the purports, the souls who have gone through the path of light, they don't return back. Which means like they had.
Yeah, so there are two paths, right? One path was given in verse, I think, 25.
Yes.
And the other path is given in verse number 26. So that path where I mentioned those 12 devatas, that is the path of light.
Yes.
And the other path where I mentioned 8 devatas, that is the path of darkness.
Yes, yes. So in the path of light, the souls who have traversed this, they don't return back. Does it mean like they went to Golok?
They don't return back. Yeah, that means they go to spiritual world. Not
So
necessarily
which
Golok. They can go anywhere in the
okay.
spiritual world, no?
Yes, yes. So which means like the karmis, jnanis, or hatha yogis, they can also go to the spiritual realm, a world.
Yeah.
So the person who is only following karma yoga, he can also go to the
It's a
spiritual.
very good question. He's not a karmi, he's a karma mishra bhakta.
Ah. Okay.
So karma mishra bhakta, jnana mishra bhakta, yoga mishra bhakta, they can also go to spiritual world, but they cannot go to Golokdha. They can go to some Vaikuntha.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, I was just thinking that, yeah, if just people are only following karma yoga, how can they can just go to the spiritual realm? Yeah.
They can go to Vaikuntha. So Vaikuntha, you don't have to be, you don't have to be as pure as one goes to Golokdha. Maximum purity is required for entering into Golokdha. That is like the highest purity, which is given by Srila Rupa Goswami, Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Vyanavettamani Punyam Krishna Bhakti. That is supreme most purity. So if that is there, then one goes into Golokdha.
So which means, Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada reiterates that for devotees there is no dependency of time by leaving their body. So which means Bhakti Yoga. So by
Yeah, so if you
practicing
do
Bhakti
pure
Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga, then there is no need of time dependence. Here they are not Bhakti Yogas, they are Mishra. Mishra
Yeah,
means
yes.
mixture.
Yes,
So
yes,
then there is
Prabhuji.
dependency on time. Now the problem is if you are depending on time, there are very less chances you'll be successful.
Yes, Prabhuji.
It's difficult, no? Can you imagine, like, how will you prepare yourself that exactly at this time I should leave my body? Very difficult. Who can do it? Indirectly, Krishna is discouraging us because it's so difficult. Who will be successful? Right?
Yes,
I'll tell you
Prabhuji.
some very funny incidents that happen. So there are people who know this process. So what they do is there's a place in Madhya Pradesh. I think it's called Jabalpur, uh, in MP, Madhya Pradesh. So this place, it has very steep cliffs and very, the the mountain base is solid rock and steep cliffs are there. So there are yogis who practice yoga system. They climb this cliff and they have their knowledge of what is the right time to leave the body, right? So they jump from the cliff with their head down so that when their skull will hit the rock bottom and their skull will open, so that moment they will leave the body and go wherever they want to go. Now, many times instead of they landing on the head, they land on the leg and they end up being a fractured person. They don't go anywhere, they end up in the hospital. Right. So uh, if you just hear such incidents, you understand it's not easy. To even follow that process, so difficult. And then people will do such crazy things on.
Prabhuji, this is like suicide, no? Which is not supported by Shastras.
Yeah, I
What
was
are
about
the
to ask the same question.
Yes, this is not supported by the Shastra. But what I am trying to say is that
people follow that?
the process is like that. So people they derive so many wrong understandings of it because the process is very complicated. In Bhakti, it is so simple. You don't have to do such crazy things, no? But these things are not easy. Therefore, they are not meant for Kali Yoga, in simple words. There were yogis like that who were very qualified. They knew exactly about time and all that. They could do such things. In Kali Yuga, we don't have discipline on what time we are supposed to get up and what time we are supposed to sleep. Then how to practice so much discipline? When will I leave my body? You know, right? Okay. Sanjay, Brahma.
Prabhuji, in the last shloka, I mean the last shloka of 28, it's mentioned that one should therefore learn Bhagavad-Gita from the devotee of Krishna. So we are doing that. And Saturday, Sunday, we are fortunate that you explain us, and whenever we have any queries, we talk to you and it gets solved. But what about the other days? Because the moment the class is over, there are 10 things to be done, which is there in the mind, and the weekdays, any which is go like that only. So what needs to be done to stay in that? Because it is very difficult to learn on your own. And again, the interpretation on your own will be something different, which is not actually the interpretation of Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, so first of all, we are learning from a devotee, and that's not me. We are learning from a devotee, that is Srila Prabhupada. Fine.
Right.
So we are all learning from Srila Prabhupada. I am also trying to become a devotee. And second part, what to do? So we should read every day. We should read every day. We may not understand, but we should read. We should note down our queries, questions, and all that. And then we can clarify that later from someone who might answer our questions. That is one solution to it, right? So that is there. We should study. We should study on other days also. And second thing is, we should not forget what we are hearing and reading. We should recall it again and again. That's why revision is needed. Studies are incomplete without revision. If you just hear and leave, that means you'll not assimilate much. You have to revise. You have to read again. You have to revise. Read again, revise. It will take time for the thing to sink in, because this is very simple to understand. In material world, whatever sanskars we are carrying from past lives, we are carrying those sanskars because we have given a lot of time to those sanskars. And therefore now that has become a part of our personality. So just like material sanskars, they have become by following a process of investing time and energy. Devotional sanskars also will form by the same process of investing time and energy. You're understanding? So
Yes,
that
Prabhuji.
effort has to be put. If you don't put that effort, it is not becoming a sanskar. And if it doesn't
Yes.
become a sanskar, it's not going to be like always coming to your help.
It's
Therefore, that
superficial.
sanskar has to come. It's superficial. Or it's just coming, touching you and going away. It's not
Correct.
really becoming a part of it.
It's not creating an impression.
Yeah. So for that, what is needed? Practice is needed. And that practice
Correct.
is called sadhana. What we say sadhana is that only. But what happens because of our misfortune, our you can say we get so much lost in what we do. Most of the time, we turn sadhana into a ritual. And therefore, the sadhana doesn't leave an impression on our chitta. But what is sadhana? This is sadhana actually. Every day, what we're supposed to do. So that it is changing our system from inside every day. You understanding? No? So therefore, we have
Yes,
to
Prabhuji.
invest time every day. Maybe 2 hours, not 2 hours, but maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. Very important.
Right, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. We're done.
Prabhuji, I mean, if you time permits, you can answer today or later. I mean, it's a technical question, like maybe some explanation about what is Pitruloka, what is Dhruvaloka, who lives there.
I also don't know much, but yeah, because I don't know much. I only know little bit about it. Pitraloka is ruled by the king called Aryama, which is mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita. He's the king of Pitriloka. So who lives there? The Pitris live there. Who are Pitris? Pitris are those ancestors of ours who are not qualified to enter into heaven, but they still have some good karma, punya karma. So they enjoy their punya karma in Pitriloka. Fine. So Pitriloka is, you can say, 50% heaven, kind of.
Mhm.
They don't have a lot of punya karma, but they have some punya karma. So they are there. And it's ruled by Aryaman.
Okay.
Dhruva is actually, Dhruva means fixed. So Dhruva is basically Vaikuntha within material world. It doesn't come in one of the 14 planetary systems.
Mhm.
Something like that you can understand. So who lives there? So some devotees live there. Dhruva Maharaj lives there. That means it's a place of no anxiety. It doesn't really mean Vaikuntha like the Vaikuntha of spiritual world. It means it gives you a feeling of Vaikuntha within material world. That's Dhruva. That much only I know.
One question.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, one question. Prabhu, Pitris, I mean, they wait for a body, like, I mean, they.
Yeah, they're enjoying, no? Then they're waiting also. After they enjoy, then they'll get. The word Pitri is for everyone, whether they have got a body, they are waiting for a body, they're enjoying in the heaven, they are all called as Pitris.
Okay.
The Pitri might already be in a body of, let's say, a cockroach. Then also Pitri only.
Okay. Okay.
Pitri means
Thank
what?
you.
Your ancestor, your forefather. So that person has got a body, didn't get a body, waiting for a body. It's all Pitri.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question, Prabhu?
Yes,
Where
last.
does Yama and Yamaloka, Yamraj and Yamaloka fit into this picture?
Which picture?
Thus, with the eight deities.
Hmm?
The one where you pass away in darkness and you return.
Why?
Or,
But why will Yamaraj come
or
there?
like,
Yamaraja will be for those who are sinful, no?
okay, so it's not in this
Here we are
picture at
talking
all.
about yogis.
Okay.
So why
So
Yamaraj will
those
come
who
in
are
the picture?
atheists, so like atheists and stuff, is that?
Yeah, those who are sinful. Then Yamaraj will
Hmm.
come in the picture. No, he'll punish. If someone is not sinful, then why will Yamaraj come in the picture?
But is a yogi also not sometimes sinful? I mean, like,
Here we are talking about those who are sinless, not engaged in sin. Because if that person is sinful, then how will that person have higher destination? Can never have higher. If someone is sinful, how can you have higher destination? Not possible.
okay.
Sinful means either lower or same. Either you go down or you remain the same where you are. You don't go up.
Okay, understood. Thank you, bro.
And whatever little sins that person might have committed during his or her life, that sin will be burned by the sadhana also that person performed. Na? That person is a yogi. Okay, so Yamaraj is for those who are sinful, not for everyone. For everyone, for others who are not sinful, they only pay respects to them. Like that. Okay. They don't really take them through that painful journey. Doesn't happen for everyone. But however, we should also know this that uh, this explanation which we are talking about, these are also very less people who have lived a sinless life, who are going to higher destination. In Kali Yuga, people don't go to Swarga. Very few people are qualified even to go to heaven in Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga, people are sinful, no? Mostly. So they don't go to Swarga, Loka, and all that. They don't go to higher planets. It's very difficult because those people they have very different standard. Huh. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is explained. Qualification required to go to heaven. If when you read that section, you will feel I'm not qualified to go to heaven. What to speak of going back home back to Godhead? In Srimad Bhagavatam it is given. Isn't it very interesting? In that section, qualities of Shudras are mentioned. So if a Brahman of Kali Yuga will read that quality, he'll feel ashamed. The qualities of Shudra, which is mentioned in that section, a Brahman of Kali Yuga will not have those qualities. So in Kali Yuga, no one goes to heaven. Very few people go to heaven. When prepared it. Okay, so we stop here. Chapter is completed. We'll meet next week. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank
Jai.
you, Prabhuji.